This is Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com and free. That's right, you heard it. Free on iTunes. Anthony the Antman riding solo today as Keith Logan is out on assignment. He'll be back next week, but he's missing a good show today because we're going to recap what happened at Payback, talk a little bit about what happened on Raw. We'll get into who's in control of Raw as well. Which McMahon took control. We'll get into that. Also, Ryback in a little contract dispute. He had something to say on his Tumblr, and you're going to want to listen to what he had to say because, he might be a little bit right on this subject. So we'll get into that. And also, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a gift to give everyone on his birthday, and he did that this week. I'll get into that. I got the gift, and I thought it's a pretty cool thing, so we'll get into that as well. But let's start off with Payback and the first match of the show, not the pre-show, we'll get into that later, but the first match being the Booty-O's Tag Team Tournament, the finals of that, which pitted the Vaudevillains against Enzo and Cass, and the match ended in a no contest because of the injury sustained by Enzo Amore. And when I say injury, this was no joke, folks. He really got injured, suffering a concussion. Simon Gotch threw him into the ropes, and for some reason, it looked like his arm got caught in the middle of the rope, and his head snapped back right on to the canvas, and then went right to the floor, and he was limp. I mean, he was breathing very oddly, and I could have thought that he either punctured a lung or he broke his neck. Luckily, he only suffered a concussion and was released at the end of the night, which we have posted on our Ringside Rumble Facebook and Twitter pages. So you can check that out by searching for Ringside Rumble on Facebook and on our Twitter at Ringside Rumble. So, yeah, he really took a fall there, and luckily for him and for the fans as well, that he will only be missing a few weeks out of action because it's just a concussion. But you always like to take precautions with these concussions. It's not something to take lightly, and the WWE has always been good about dealing with these types of injuries. And boy, Simon Gotch came out of the ring, was about to pick him up, and the first thing I thought of was, I hope the referee pulls him out. The referee did, stopped him from moving him any further. You could see Cass was distraught. The New Day was sitting on the ground watching the whole match take place. And yeah, this is a injury that, you can't take lightly, and we just the hopes that he heals, gets back to the ring okay, and actually comes back, sooner than later. But sad for Enzo, who they had this is their first match on a pay-per-view, and, to have it end like that and to have him end with an injury, just very sad to see. They're very over right now with the fans, and hopefully he can come back and be okay, and, we'll see him soon. So we wish him the best of luck in his recovery and hope to see Enzo real soon. It kind of took the life out of the arena during that match and the ending, and how would they be able to reinvigorate the fans? The only way to do that is to put Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens up against each other right afterwards, and boy, did they put on a match against each other. It was a fantastic, a match of the year candidate, seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens rekindle their rivalry from NXT and from the indie scene. I mean, these two guys have fought so many times. The chemistry is there. Something that I would love to see, I wanted to see at WrestleMania. I wanted to see the two of them fight at WrestleMania. They would have put on maybe one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, but instead they went with the ladder match. And, we got to see it at Payback, so at least, we are getting to see the matches that we want. And, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, I'm pretty sure they're not finished yet. We'll get some more from them. Kevin Owens comes out victorious in that match, and a clean win. Great for Kevin Owens, and he just continues to roll in the WWE. Probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now, Kevin Owens, doing his thing, taking out Sami Zayn. And then he goes in to do commentary for the next match. He has one of the most best characters, as he can wrestle and do commentary. So we got a lot of Kevin Owens in the first hour of Raw. I mean, in the first hour of Payback. And boy, he did the commentary for the Intercontinental Championship match, which was between The Miz and Cesaro. And that was a pretty decent match as well. The Miz needing to get a victory here, because you don't want to bring Maurice in here and then put the title on him, just like they did at the night after WrestleMania when he beat Zack Ryder. You're not going to want to take the belt away from him like that, and he's just building this very, heelish, strong heelish character with Maurice with him. And I think they're great together. I've said this with Keith. I think they're doing a great job together, being that heelish wife and husband celebrity type couple that they're doing, the Hollywood style heelish character. And The Miz has looked great doing it. He may not be the best wrestler, but he can put on a performance, and he did with Cesaro. And I think that we will see possibly now a fatal four-way at Extreme Rules, which will be very exciting since I will be in attendance there. We will probably get a nice match, because the match ended with Cesaro being distracted by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's fighting when they were fighting back into the ring. So The Miz rolled him up, got the win, and I think we will probably see this fatal four-way, and I think it's a good thing. It might be even a good way to take the title away from The Miz, because he doesn't even have to lose it. It doesn't make him look weak either. So we'll see where that storyline goes. Also, heading into this pay-per-view, we saw the Charlotte versus Natalya, that storyline build in weeks, where Charlotte was being helped every time she gets a victory. Natalya got the match for the women's title at Payback, with the caveat of having Bret the Hitman Hart at her side, and they really could have done big things with this match. The match was looking good, and then Charles Robinson calls for the bell while Charlotte has the sharpshooter on Natalya. Natalya did not give up, and the first thing that came to my mind is they're really going to do this screw job bit again. They can't let it go. They just cannot let the screw job go. For some reason, every time Bret Hart comes back, it's the thoughts, the memories of the screw job, and I think by now it should be put to rest. This should be about the women and nothing else. This is what the women's title came back for, to profile these women, and as I said in the past, Natalya is the epitome of this women's division, and I thought that they would probably give her a title run and let her run with the title for, even if it was for a day, even if it was just to give her the women's title, to show all of the hard work she's done with the girls of NXT and other girls that came to the WWE, where she's put them over, and she deserves a shot at the title, and maybe she'll get it at Extreme Rules when they have another match. But I really think that Natalya and Charlotte did not need the interference of a Ric Flair or a Bret Hart or the referee Charles Robinson getting in the way. They could have easily put on a match of the night performance, and it wasn't needed. I don't know why they keep going back to this. It's got to stop. Let the girls do their thing. Let these women do their thing. They've already showed at WrestleMania that they can put on a show. They had the match of the night at WrestleMania when it was Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. And then, you come back, you think that everything's going to turn around, and then you get the same stuff. You get short segments here. You get matches that don't last long here. Weird booking. And now we have to go through this at Payback, which was a big match between Charlotte and Natalya. Just let them wrestle. Let them tell their story. They don't need any extra help being put in this. Hopefully soon, I mean, I understand Ric Flair helping her out and being his daughter and everything, but after a while, Charlotte's going to have to do this on her own and show that she's because she can wrestle and she's got she's got the charisma, she's got the character, she's got a moonsault. I mean, that moonsault was amazing. She could definitely nail a moonsault. And, let the girls tell the story, get Ric Flair, get Bret Hart out of the way. I hope at Extreme Rules, these two can just go at it each other on their own and not have to worry about any shenanigans being pulled here. But it just took away from what could have been a really great match. Continuing on, Shane McMahon and, actually before that, Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho had their little rivalry match, and Dean Ambrose comes out victorious. The match, I don't know, was it that great, but Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, solid performers. They'll always put on a good match, but it wasn't, it definitely wasn't going to be a memorable match considering the two big matches, the main event and the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match, which stole the show. Those two matches, and it was a good match, but I'd like to see where they continue this feud. As you saw on Monday Night Raw, Jericho attacked Ambrose after Stephanie McMahon brought back the highlight reel and got rid of the Ambrose Asylum, and we lost Dean Ambrose's plant, Mitch. So rest in peace, Mitch, because all I see now online are these videos and this eulogy for Mitch. Rest in peace, Mitch the plant, Mitch Ambrose. So rest in peace to him. But we'll see where this feud goes. I would assume we would get a maybe street fight between Jericho and Ambrose at Extreme Rules, but who knows? I mean, Ambrose has already been in a street fight with Brock Lesnar. Who knows if they're going to do that again? Maybe we'll get, I don't know, a submission match or something, but we'll see where that feud goes. Going into now, who is in control of Monday Night Raw? And now I want to get into this before I get into the main event, and that's because we have a lot of things stemming from the aftermath of this heading into that main event. So Vince McMahon, I guess they went along with this segment because of what happened to Enzo and Cass. Cannot be sure, but this was a long segment just to tell us that Shane and Stephanie will together be running Monday Night Raw. I feel like, I don't know about this story. I mean, we waited all this time just for you to tell us that both of them are going to take control. I mean, okay, I guess it's a good way to change things up, not get right straight into a brand split. That was a tongue twister for me. A brand split. So to have them work together and I guess get on each other's nerves to eventually lead to some sort of brand split might take place. But we're going to have Shane and Stephanie being added together. Stephanie's more of the talker. You're going to see her a lot on the, come out for these opening segments. Shane is still a little hesitant since coming back and talking so much on the microphone. It hasn't been great. But, these two might balance each other out. And, the fans are behind Shane. They're tired of Stephanie. Stephanie plays that great heel, and kind of Monday Night Raw and some of Payback, at the end of Payback, kind of did a 360 and trying to figure out if she's trying to be a face, she's trying to be a heel. But we all know eventually one of them's going to turn. We've done the McMahon story before. Something's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Triple H is going to come in sooner or later. And we just now know that Shane and Stephanie will run Monday Night Raw together. We also, that's leading into actually the main event, which pitted AJ Styles and Roman Reigns against each other. That was a great match, guys. That was such a great match. A lot of credit to AJ Styles and Roman Reigns, who he can wrestle. Roman Reigns can wrestle, and he might have found his